or some of the other games that NCSoft has published. So I don't think that worrying about NCSoft is too much of a scare, but I do kind of always have that looming over in terms
All right,
of like,
folks. Point of order from chat. We have gone completely off topic from community, talking about the publishing of WildStar. There, we can certainly get back to the topic in the open chat section at the end. But any more points on the actual community fan sites, kind of a player and guild run events, etc., etc.
I think I'm from WildStar Core, and we're also do a lot of articles and things like and guides and everything like that. I think that there's been a lull in communication because things have been adjusting, but I don't think it's something that we should all be too worried about. I think it's they're coming back with a vengeance type thing. At least that's what that I got when I met with a couple of them. And when I went to PAX, they were so nice and so welcoming, all of the devs, and answered all my questions. And I was able to talk to Frost privately. I mean, it was awesome. They're very approachable that way. So as long as I think we have to keep communicating out from the community sites to let people know it's okay, and kind of take on that we're also leaders in the I guess town hall type thing.
Yeah, the one other thing on the Carbine side, they did a nice initiative of having a fan site outreach private forum, which didn't get used. So, yeah, I think it is very much a transitional thing. Obviously, we first had the community director leave, and then the community lead left, and now we've got Tony, which is great. Love you, man, but we need running a big fan site, which has seen a massive drop in its viewership, absolutely massive. We need a little bit more. It's kind of wrong for me to say support from Carbine, because it's on us to contact Carbine and ask for what we want or need, and then they can tell us to go hang ourselves, which is fine. But it's I don't know. I feel like the wider fan site community, both guilds and fan sites and podcasts and vodcasts and streamers, really need to come and band together, because
Yeah.
we're the wider arm of the WildStar community. If there were no fan sites, if Jabbit Hole, if WS Base, if Core, if Central didn't exist, that'd be a horrible sign of a dying game.
yeah, more support would be good, Zap. I definitely agree with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I will say, it's you know, it's not for it's not really that there is a lack of care for fan sites by any means, because I really value what you guys do. I think maybe it's just a lack on our community team's part, as far as trying to go above and beyond and getting you guys involved. And I think this has been a great, as this will be for a lot of the teams that I've taken notes for. This section is specifically like mine, so of course this is more, into what I do obviously every day. I think I'm taking away a lot of great feedback from this, and I think you will see some immediate changes. I've already got a couple ideas that I've written down on what can be done to make some immediate changes in how fan sites feel in relation to their connection with Carbine.
And just to be clear, Tony, I think you're doing a really great job. But yeah, I mean, it's. I would not want to be in your position. It's got to be a damn hard job. So I just want to thank you for doing a good job and keeping up with it. So thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I think that unlike every other MMORPG I've ever played, and there have been a couple of them, I haven't seen. I only really expected Tony to be here, but just seeing that there were so many, Carbine devs in the Twitch stream, because I'm watching that at the same time, and knowing that Tony's even here talking to, essentially just a bunch of players, is almost fascinating to me, because I've never had that happen before. Um,
If I can throw out, not to be too much of a Care Bear or anything, but I am, at least in WildStar, I'm not a famous person, if you will. And, you know, I've started with some initiatives trying to foster RP and stuff on my humble little server. And I reached out to the devs, and they, you know, Pappy and Corey, and they've been fabulous about reaching back to me, asking how they can help me, getting me information, working with the kind of lore and RP community, which I know most people, when they think of RP, they think of, you know, angry people lashing out, and you know, the obviously there's been a lot of discussion about the mega servers. I'll just leave it at that. But I actually have been really pleasantly surprised with the amount of support that I've gotten from the dev community. I'm not trying to be an apologist. I'm not saying everything is, you know, happy roses, but I feel like you guys are accessible in a way I have not found in other games, even being more of a VIP. And so hopefully that continues. And I really feel like it's beneficial to the community to keep that open, to reach back out to them, to have a dialogue. And, you know, and like I said, being a little less restrictive on maybe what's constituted as a fan site, and opening the door more. I just think that's only positive.
Agreed. Yeah, well said.
As a final word, and I'm going to abuse my moderator privileges and take the final word myself this time round. I know I've been a little bit critical about how Carbine have kind of handled fan sites and the wider community here. The one thing I will say is we need to handle ourselves better. We need to talk among ourselves more. That's part of what this Town Hall series is going to be about. Hopefully it's going to be quarterly. We'll see how it goes. But we need to talk among ourselves, and we need to we need to work together more. It's a whole kind of don't be a dick kind of argument. Let's we're all on the same team here. The very fact that all you guys are here for this town hall, that you all registered your interest, and you've come along and took 3 hours out of your evening to do this, just shows to me that we can do better, Carbine can do better, the entire WildStar community can do better. So we need to become that community that I saw growing in pre-release and has lost its way maybe a little bit on live. All right, folks, we're going to change topic at that, unless Tony's got any last word there.
Like I said, sorry, wrong button. Like I said, you guys will. I really appreciate all the feedback, especially, you know, from all these different topics. I know we're about to go into a different one, but like I said, I've gotten some great stuff, written some notes down, and as far as fan sites go, you will see some immediate changes. And I said immediate, like tomorrow.
Not soon enough. Okay.
How dare you? Of course, yeah. Get off your ass, Tony.
What are you doing?
No one's ever
in your
happy.
own evenings, kind of spending time with us. I didn't want more action, damn it. Okay, folks, we are going to move on to events. This may be player run, this may be in-game, just events in Wilds to kick us off there.
One complaint I have about events, one specific event, is that Zoetic in Wilderrun, if he himself is not spawned, if it's the little guys you have to kill beforehand, then the marker doesn't appear in the map, and you actually have to walk almost the length of Wilderrun to check and see if this world boss is up.
As far as what I've heard and what I've experienced, the biggest problem with events is just rewards. That, you know, people want to have reasons to, you know, show up and do content, and people want to have reasons to show up and do events. I'm not sure if it's always possible, especially with, like, you know, things that we throw together. But as far as, you know, content development goes, it's always nice to have more stuff, you know, even just little things to keep people, you know, coming and doing events. You know, stuff that, you know, they can use, or, you know, even just almost exclusive things that say, you know, I did this.
Anyone else on the topic of events there?
I think we covered a fair amount of it earlier.
Yeah, we've had some overlap between topics, but that's inevitable and certainly expected. I'll throw some.
Oh, sorry. Please go on.
No, I was going to say I'll throw something random out there. I think it was Warplots who held a PvP tournament, 1v1 on a custom built housing plot. I'd love to see some more of that sort of stuff kicking off. And plus, I'd love to see some more roleplay events, maybe getting a bit more airtime, as it were.
Days of Our Lives WildStar Edition.
I actually have a lot of comments that I solicited from the community on that, so I don't know where to put them.
I think we should probably start by, on Nefle's behalf, inviting everybody on the Avenger server to join us for Fadefest, which is, I'll pull up the date here real quick. I keep forgetting what it is. It's going to be probably
October 18th.
Yeah, in the 18th. And it's going to be, a role-playing event for the most part, but we'll have other events in it. She's been working super hard on it since, I think about a month ago she announced it. And we're going to be throwing our support behind it, so I will definitely be there. A lot of people will definitely be there. On the Avenger server, if it's still around. If Mega servers drop before then, everybody on the PvE server, on Entity server, I suppose, is definitely invited to be there. Fadefest is going to be a big thing. It's going to be a big public event being run by, essentially Nephilim and a bunch of our RP guilds. And we invite everybody to come along, even if, the servers aren't merged by then. Just make an alt and get up to Thade level and come join us.
In terms of events and stuff, I'd really like to see the housing level requirement toned down until like after you get out of the Arc ship. That way you don't have to grind those levels and be a certain level requirement to go to houses, which are where a lot of events actually take place. I'd really like to see the level requirement for houses go down a lot.
If I may. I have a lot of notes because I've actually been soliciting opinion and feedback from a number of various channels. Personally speaking, and I'm a casual player. I want to say this up front. I am not the power gamer. I don't think hitting 14 to get to housing is that onerous. I've done it on multiple characters, so. And I'm going to say up front, you can all flame me as much as you want. My highest character right now is 25, so I am so not the power player. I don't think hitting 14 is that hard. And I think it's good to kind of get exposed to the game from the beginning. That said, a lot of the feedback I got from the more casual or role-playing community is we would really, really, really love more costumes. You've got multiple avenues to have costumes equipped. There's no stats. They're just cosmetic. You've got all the dyes in place. So please, can we get more costumes? Players love this. Even non-role players, they love grinding, emblems or holiday stuff or whatever the crap you throw at us to get some cool hat or some cool pet or some cool boots or whatever. So please consider.
I would definitely agree. More cosmetic items to make me look like a space cowboy / Batman / Wolverine / Tron. Please do that.
Hey, whatever floats your boat. I mean, I don't even care. It's no stat, purely cosmetic. We can dye it whatever color we want, so whatever. Cowboy hat comes up extensively.
It does.
So cowboy hat, just, in general, more cosmetic items. Housing, people really love the housing, but again, themed items, holiday items, special items, temporary items, things that you can only get by doing X at Y time. People want this stuff, and it's an added incentive to log in. I'm looking through some of my other notes here.
Added to that, I should point out I did run into a guy on the forums, and I do want to make sure that, this shows up somewhere. I wasn't sure that this was going to be where, but hey, it's good enough. There's a guy who built a tremendously awesome flying PvP arena on his housing plot. I mean, it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen, only to find out that when you hit the duel button, it drops the duel flag on the ground through the housing decor. So they would automatically, get a ring out. I don't know where the guy is anymore, or I can find his post if I, hunt through it. But it would be nice if we dropped a duel flag for any of these dueling events or PvP events that we use dueling for. If the flag dropped, on the level or on whatever they're standing on.
Or just it registered how high they're standing and dropped the flag, even if it's in the air between them at that elevation.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely little things. I mean, for instance, chef's hats, aprons. You've got this incredibly complex cooking system. Let us dress the part.
I want to be
Although-
Chef Tony.
A lot of the stuff, the little details they do are totally right. Like if you look out in the world, all the little details that they have secluded out in the world that, maybe 0.1% of all the people have explored and seen that, those details are really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. One of the first things that really caught my attention as far as small details when I was playing in beta was that the water had current. That was amazing to me.
I'm still baffled by that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Very.
And die to it all the time. Curse you, Carbine.
And as events go, I should also probably bring up that a lot of people have asked for in-game calendars. I don't know if that was set for Drop 3 or not. Or
Please.
drops. Or if it had even been addressed, but I have seen the feedback a lot on the forums that everybody would really like calendars for circles and guilds and other, miscellaneous groups. People would like a calendar.
Now, one thing that I feel that events aren't doing too well, especially player-run ones, is communication out. Now, it kind of falls back on community again as well, because darn overlaps. We need to work together and get kind of events like that kind of published out. I think a lot of people are just posting on their server forum, or I don't know where these things are being posted, because I stream nightly. I do a 2-hour stream of WildStar every night, except where real life kind of intervenes. And I'd love to be able to kind of push and attend and kind of publicise these sorts of things. But we need to work together to get those things kind of pushed out and advertised.
So how do we make that happen?
I think that really kind of falls to the community itself to try and bolster everyone else's stuff. Because honestly, we're not a competition here, guys. I mean, yeah, cool. You get more views than me or than somebody else. I really don't care. That doesn't mean you're more special than I am. That doesn't mean you have some sort of, I don't know, ego to prove to someone. It's the internet. Everyone's pretty much the same level here. So I think that we need to stop looking at events as competition and just completely come together as a community and make sure that we lift up everybody's thing, even if we, even if we don't RP, even if we're not a PvP, or even if we're not some sort of, I don't know, chef TV show miniseries or something. It's about bringing the community together as a whole and lifting everybody up, not just the people who you think are important or special.
One problem I think with events is they need timers, like Scorchwing. Anybody who's been in Grimvault zone chat knows that every 10 minutes or so, at least, or at most, I guess, you'll have somebody asking, when's Scorchwing going to be up? When's Scorchwing going to be up? And a lot of times it's hard to get an answer, and a quick little timer would fix that really easily.
Isn't there an add-on for that now?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a nice new add-on that kind of monitors events around you and then communicates between the add-on owners to keep you updated when things are kind of going.
It'd be nice to have it in the base UI though as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, even... Sorry, go ahead.
I think I'd also be remiss if I didn't bring up that our RP community did take a pretty big hit when announcement of the mega server came through, which is just something people are gonna have to deal with at some point, because we couldn't survive the way that we were. But just to bring it up, that a lot of people are really worried about their RP events if they hold them in public, getting trolled by people who aren't role players. And I kind of can see where that sentiment comes from. And so people were, demanding immediate RP phasing, or, having the Vindra remain as a standalone server. And I mean, as nice as that would be, I'm kind of not willing to damn the community to that already. Just say, oh, you're not going to let us have an RP event. But it is probably something to bring up and keep in the back of our minds that, if it does end up becoming, a big issue for, the community, that we can't run RP events on a unified server, we're really going to have to look into some way to be able to kind of separate out, or to, at least get out of each other's hair, because I'm sure a lot of non-role players don't want their window flooding with chat. And I'm sure that, a lot of role players don't want to, be trolled. And if we can coexist, I mean, that would be fine. But it really should bring up that, it's something that's bouncing around a lot in the role-playing community right now.
If I can just add in my own little perspective on that. And again, I mean, I come from a role-playing casual background, so full disclosure. I understand we're a minority of the community. And what I would like to see is, I don't expect the world to change to suit us. I think we need to adapt to suit the world around us. If, hopefully I don't offend too many people with that. It is the internet after all. But what
I'm
would
offended.
really ask is, I would really love to have some of the developers, even incognito. I think we should all try to see how this works out. Make the events public, post them on the Megastar forums, and invite people, even incognito, from the Carbine community to show up and see what the experience is like. And if it turns out to be god-awful, then hopefully the role players will back off and say, like, hey, you know what, it worked out, we're sorry, we overreacted, everyone come back. And if people freak out and there's a lot of griefing, then I would like to know that Carbine is considering that view as well. I'm not saying make a separate server, but just, I'd like to see the communities working together and talking with each other and watching to see what the playing experiences are.
What about GM support from Carbine, potentially, for pre-organized events? If we had some way to notify them of an event, and then they can just have a GM cat stop by for 5 minutes, make sure it's not getting trolled, and deal with it if it is. Because I think half the issue is, yes, you can report people who are trolling, but that ruins the experience there and then, and the response times to tickets, while quite reasonable for kind of a lot of things, with certainly roleplay events or even PvP events, you need more of an immediate kind of solution, and /ignore just doesn't cut it when someone's jumping up and down in your face.
And what I will add, I mean, because I solicited on my server, I'm like, get me feedback, get me questions, what do you want me to talk about here? And the bulk of questions did consolidate around the mega server RP stuff and whether or not there's going to be changes in the EULA. And you guys are already aware of the issues, so I don't want to belabor the point, but what I will say is, if somebody strips down naked and is dancing in front of you, ignore doesn't make that go away. Ignore just means you don't see what they say. It doesn't take away the naked night elf dancing in front of you. Or, insert whatever race there. So I guess what I would open up for discussion, or, consideration among the development community is, what mechanisms will the community moderators and managers be doing to handle that situation or not handle that situation? I think it's something that needs to be thought about if it hasn't already.
I say roleplay on a PvP server and have enforcers.
Oh, it could be worse. I played World of Warcraft on Moonguard.
Oh my gosh. So sorry.
It was okay. Just, I'll never get rid of what I saw going through Elwyn.
Try keeping your 74-year-old father on a gold shirt. Then you can talk to me about pain.
Yeah, that. Oh, geez. Wow, that's terrifying.
That's my
Alright,
fault right now.
If we've got anyone else for closing remarks on the events, our next topic is actually going to be open discussion. Basically until the top of the hour at that point. Anything in closing, Tony, before we move to kind of a free for all?
What I can say is that obviously we care about our role players. We do, and coming up with workarounds for you guys is I think it is a priority, and the best thing that you guys can do is post your feedback, post your ideas, and let us hear them, because we are thinking of ideas as well. I mean, you'll be able to have your own chat channel, um, which would be nice, but that doesn't completely protect you from trolls, and like you said, it doesn't block the naked guy in front of you. But you know, definitely post your concerns, post your feedback, and let us know what you're thinking. That would be the best thing.
All right, folks, and with that, we are going to turn to the last and final topic for the night. For the last 20 minutes-ish, we're going to go to open discussion. It's open mic night, whatever. I mean, keep singing on the down low. But let's talk about anything and everything on our minds in terms of WildStar. This is also a good time for anyone watching via Twitch to chime in. I'll try and bring up anything from Twitch that people might want the panel to discuss as well. Have at it.
I'm asking in zone chat for people if they have any comments or concerns or something, just so they can get in on it if they want. So far, I've had a person ask me if they could have an option to choose the output channel for sound and a slider for spell FX. I can ask for more detail or something if you want, and I know that's probably a question you can't answer just because you don't know it offhand, but it's a concern that people have.
Good feedback, though, because I'm honestly sick of hearing for like 20 minutes every time we fight a boss.
It would be nice. I don't know if this is possible, but as it seems right now, the game seems to layer our telegraphs in a very set, determined way, which isn't always the way that we need them to show up. Seems like whenever we throw, like, say I'm on my warrior and I'm tanking and I start throwing out a lot of my own, blue telegraphs, it seems to override the red ones, or, be more prominent than those red ones, which is definitely not the way I need it to look, because, I don't really need to know exactly how big my support circle is as much as I need to know where that telegraph is, and sometimes it can be a little bit hard to see depending on what color the floor is and how much of my telegraph is covering it and how many of those I have out.
Well, I know that they're implementing colored telegraph system that was leaked in some data mining Reddit post a while back.
No, it was live on the PTR server.
It is live now.
You should have
Okay.
seen. I don't know if it's in the build that's currently on PTR, because they rolled back for some testing to the more recent build. But the Defile build's got some crazy mad kind of telegraph customization. Now, I don't know if layering is in on what takes priority over what. That's pretty. To my mind, that's good feedback. But yeah, but there are some big updates beyond just the colorblind options coming.
Yeah, it's hard to really talk about, just the random stuff, not knowing, exactly what's going to be in the build that we get for drop 3-4. So it would be really nice to get hold of that booklet that
Well, Mike did say he's going to ask if he can put it out, but the bulk of it is out there in PTR patch notes, if you want to go digging for them. If you look on Central, we've got them as news posts. Otherwise, you need to be logged into the forums, for the PTR forum, on the official forums, for the PTR forum to show up, so you can kind of have a read through.
Oh, for sure.
I haven't had a chance to talk to Mike about it yet either, but if I know Mike, if he kind of wants to do something, it's most likely going to happen. So I'm sure you'll be seeing that out there.
Cough, chew a leak.
That's right.
Another thing that somebody whispered to me was they would like to see kind of like a bank for housing, where with your plots you have to manually repair everything, And if you could just set aside some funds, say 50 gold or something, or a percentage of your money, I don't know how the logistics would work best, but if you could set aside some money that would automatically repair your plugs as soon as they break, it would help the housing out a decent amount, especially the harvesting circles.
On behalf of DOS Moose Gamer, we'd like to bring up that he would really, really like to have a boot option for housing. As it is, ignore means they can't come back, but he would like to have an option to actively kick people out of his housing plan.
And another thing that just got brought up to me is people would like to be able to set the resource sharing, so like 25-75 to the owner and the harvester.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
like to be
coming.
able to set it
They've
for
already
each.
outright said that kind of plugs will have individual harvesting limits in future.
Yeah, I really like a lot of the housing changes that are coming. I mean, because I spend a lot of time on my house, and I'm out of lights, and I'm actually about to build up a new housing plot for the guild that we can use as sort of a guild headquarters. It's actually why I'm leveling a new character, so I can put it on his plot instead of getting into one of the houses I have. So I'm really happy about the housing changes that are coming. I know that I've also got another comment here where they were asking if there could be, a set date for repairs for plugs. I know that I would also mention that maybe there could be ways that other people could pay for plug repair, because I have had people in my resource circles and in my guild who show up at my house that want to mine things. But if I haven't remembered to repair on that character, they can't put in their own money and repair it for me. And I know that I've been asked that a couple times on the forums.
Open mic. Anyone else got anything else they want to bring up, comment, say? Twitch, you got anything, buddies?
One thing that bugs me, and this is something that's obviously is not top priority, is when I solo queue for battlegrounds, even practice ones, I seem to always get grouped with randoms, and then the other team's a full pre-made, and we just get washed over in 5 minutes. I'd like to see some sort of difference in the way that queues work when it comes to if you're just trying to grind for a quick 100 to 200 prestige really quick. Because it's no fun going into a battleground and getting put up against a pre-made who just completely destroys you. So it's just a personal pet peeve.
And please, less Walatiki.
Yes, dear sweet mother, I'm so sick of that battleground.
I've taken to tweeting when I get a Daggerstone pass when I'm streaming.
Oh wow, I've never gotten that when I clicked on random.
I always use random, and I got one a couple of days ago, and it was glorious. It was great, real kind of break in the scenery.
I hate you.
Love you too.
I should also bring up that since it didn't really fit anywhere else, we'd really like a way to help get people back into the game who have left. And I've had a couple posts already that I've put out, a couple ideas on, rewarding, if you give out a free trial to somebody and they sub in for 3 months, that not only do you get like a sub discount, but they do as well, and that can stack. I've also brought up, ideas like, having these kind of rewards work for people who are in the game, that quit. Ways that we can, almost make people want to come back, either temporarily or, full time, just to see what happens in drop 3.
Yeah, that's some way of doing some kind of community-led initiative for it would be great. I don't know. I mean, I tried outreaching to possibly the worst kind of place to try outreaching. I advertise on a City of Heroes forum.
Ooh.
I'm an ex-City of Heroes player. I find WildStar really comforting and a great place to be. And I thought, other players might feel the same. It didn't go down too badly.
Yeah. One thing. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I just wanted to bring up real quick because I had it written down on my notes and then forgot my notes at work. But I did want to ask if there was a way that we could maybe, and sometime in the far distant future, activate some kind of simple scripting for movement, so we could essentially put elevators on housing plots, so we could have platforms that rise and fall. I think that even if it's just one motion, you set a start point, set an end point, set the speed, and it has a slider of some kind to make sure we don't glitch with it. I think that would be really helpful and give us a lot more versatility in our housing plots.
I like that idea.
On sort of a related note, one of the other comments I got was to ask for just overall better item preview functionality outside of add-ons, whether it is from crafted gear before you make it so you can see what it looks like, or auction, commodities exchange, or housing.
Yeah, I know before release, when Carbine were talking about add-ons, they were talking about bringing in the best features from add-ons into the core of the UI. I kind of feel like it's time for a pass at that, where they kind of pick some of the bug fix add-ons, as it were, and roll those into the main UI somehow.
Yeah, I think that that's something that Carbine should always be looking into is, what's out there in the player UI, sphere, what's being developed by players, because, those things can go away, and it does take away from, people's time with the game. And if something is just universally good as far as, a UI add-on goes, try to copy it in, because, why not? Give that functionality to everybody. It might help out, fixing things or giving us more options.
Well, I mean, that takes a lot of time to develop new different things that add-on developers have actually developed. I know that one of the reasons that World of Warcraft took so long to implement like a quest tracker or something is because they had to work on it for a long period of time, or they were just lazy. I don't know. I'd like to think that it took them a long time. But, I mean, I would definitely agree in putting in some of the community-made add-ons into the game. Like having some options to make chat colors completely different. Because I'm so used to party being blue, and the yellow just completely throws me off still. So I've had to take to an add-on to actually change certain chat colors and do certain things that I'm used to that I feel that should be already implemented into the game.
And since engineer bots have come up in our text stream here, not just customization for them, but has anyone been on the PTR to test? Because I know that they can be a real nuisance when you're trying to run through areas and they just randomly turn around and slap something you have no intention of fighting. And that really wasn't a problem in, say, World of Warcraft or most other games where you can usually have an option to say, follow me no matter what, even if something tries to kill you. Is there maybe a way that we could add that in if it's not coming in already?
Well, there is a passive option on engineer bots. I don't know how well it works, though.
My passive option is just never summon them. Because in my experience, when I summon them, they remind me of my experience back in Vanilla WoW when you're running BRD and you have that hunter that dies and has their pet out and manages to run the entire instance to get back to you and then bring the 30 friends when you arrive. Cue flashback. But yeah, that's kind of my experience with my engineering bots, so I just don't call them out to play. I don't know if other people have similar experiences, but I would love to see better AI, which I've seen as an ongoing issue in the forums. Customization would be awesome too, give them more rainiers, whatever. But most importantly, functionality, please.
It would be great to get a little bit more, customization with our abilities and, just little animations and things like that, if there ever is time, because these are all pretty far down on the priority ladder. But, stunts on, hoverboards so that we can, make Tony Hawk Pro hoverboard and make skate parks. I know that people for a while were talking about that video with the sliding mount physics, and it'd be nice to have some of those come back for hoverboards where it made a lot more sense to have them just wildly careening out of control. Things like that. Just the little things that I know that Carbine probably did want to put in, but they just haven't had time to really fix.
Any more?
Son-
For any more?
Yeah, I got one more. I want to kind of give a shout out to Stephen Frost and just kind of his commitment to the game and what kind of he meant to me as a player. He was the reason I got into the game, and I think many of us can attest to just him being that really down to earth person. And everyone I've talked to who have actually met him, he is just such a stand up guy. And I'm extremely sad to see him go. And Frost, you have been I'm I'm getting a little emotional, but you have been a just an awesome person in the community, and we're really gonna miss you, buddy. So thank you very much for all your hard work.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I've been since I've been following the game 2011. Been to get a couple of PAX Easts. Been to the Arc Ship event, and to a man, and especially as the Frost, have been the most forthright and nicest guys. I feel like I'm just meeting old friends. Every time I meet a new developer from Carbine, when I met Tony, when I met Mark Anlath from the UK, they're just kind of our kind of people. And it's sad to see one of our people fly the coop. But people got to do what people got to do.
Oh, I should also bring up. Sorry, I kind of get off track. I'm trying to remember all the stuff that I wrote down at work, and there were a couple of things that aren't added to our account options yet that I always figured would probably end up there eventually. Things like changing race, maybe changing faction, guild renames, things like that. Right now we just have character renames, and I'm assuming that they kind of want to just make basic hair changes, skin color changes, things like that in game. But there are probably things that take a little bit more than that, and it'd be nice to have those as options on our account pages, even if they do cost something to do a few of those.
Well, if that's everything, folks. Anyone want to have the last comment before I close down this North American town hall meeting?
Thank you, Tony, for coming and taking the time.
Yeah, thank you, dude. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
to all the devs.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thanks to all the devs. And Evendra lives.
I would love to see if we can do something like this more regularly.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'm hoping to turn this into a quarterly event. I think monthly is a little bit too much, and especially with the patch cycle moving to quarterly, I think kind of big issues which require a pretty big group of people coming together to talk would probably be best served quarterly.
Agreed.
So next one probably going to be right after the next drop.
I think maybe kind of a half month to a month after the next drop. Everyone gets experience with it, sees how kind of things bed down, and then take it from there. As before, kind of it's going to be I'm going to open it up to kind of community leaders, essentially guild leaders, press, to kind of fan site people who run fan sites, people who have streamers, kind of YouTubers, people who have a community, because to my mind that helps get people in who've got multiple viewpoints, and then of course the live Twitch chat, which will be part of the VOD because I've got it on screen on the Twitch, is where the individual can come in and have their say as well.
Thanks for doing this, Zap. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd just like to say real quick, thank you everybody so much for your passion, and all of you are leaders in the WildStar community, and you put in a lot of time and passion into everything that you do, all the content you create, and that definitely does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. Every dev here is so stoked when they see something cool come out of the community, and you see it because the devs are here. Like, there are so many devs right now in chat. It's great. It's great to see that, and I feel so honored to be a part of this that's happening. And like I said, thank you everybody for bringing all your feedback. I've got a huge document that I will go through and edit down a little bit because I was typing furiously, and if you have ever seen me type, I'm not very good, so it was a challenge, but I typed furiously. I again appreciate all your feedback. Zap Robo, thank you so much for setting this up. This was terrific. Thank you, WildStar Central, and on behalf of the devs, we really, really appreciate all that you guys do. Honestly.
All right, folks, that's been our North American session for the WildStar Town Hall for this quarter. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. British summertime, we'll be running the European Town Hall. The reason for doing the two town halls is so that things are at appropriate times for the appropriate community. We'll be joined by Anlath, the UK community coordinator for that, and I hope we get as good a turnout there. We are lower on participation vote
User
for
disconnected
the
from your channel.
European session, so I do encourage anyone to kind of check the central forums and sign up if you are able to make it. Yeah, thanks for turning out.
Say hi to Anlath for me.
Absolutely. One last thing, though. I'm going to use this forum for a minor plug. On the 24th of October, I am heading up a WildStar team for the Extra Life charity. I'm going to be pushing out some more information about this kind of relatively soon, about kind of the events and things that I'll be doing for 24-hour stream live on Twitch here on WildStar Central. But we're looking for people to donate. We're looking for more streamers to kind of join in as well. So yeah, more information on that in the upcoming week. But thank you all for turning out. Thank you to Carbine. Thank you to all our panelists, and thank you very much to our kind of Twitch viewers.